What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Lucas Live. My name is Lucas Tyndale. I am your host. Excited to be here with you guys today. Today is Friday, August 21st. And we have a special show today. We were not here live on Wednesday, so we're back here today. I was actually in Alaska, which is nuts that I took a quick 2-day trip to Alaska. I mean, I was in Alaska for I guess 24 hours, maybe a little bit more. I left on Tuesday. I was back yesterday. Don't do it. I don't recommend it. Don't rush and come back. I had things to do, though. It was kind of short notice, this opportunity, but I'm grateful for it. I'll be putting out some content, some videos to show you guys what it was like. I was out there learning all about it, and I was staying away from the bears and the moose and the stuff, and I learned a lot, okay? But beautiful place, beautiful people, great time, great, we have Alaskan fish here, like Alaskan salmon or Alaskan halibut or cod or something like that. I was in Alaska, so I had the real deal right there in Alaska, and it was great. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that. I got to work with a great company that works with youth homelessness. Man, this business model was absolutely incredible, and I definitely want to talk to some people around here about how that could be a part of a nonprofit that already exists, or maybe something we got to get started. But when you attack youth homelessness, you attack adult homelessness. And I didn't realize that. I didn't think about the fact that when young people 15, 16, 17, 18 to 24 are being serviced, and young adults, young 20s are being serviced with homeless resources to not become homeless and have a place to go, it can stop them from being those people we see on the streets at various ages because they got the resources, support, and things that they needed. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you guys again to the broadcast. I have a great guest here today. My man Sharif Small will be here in the building today to talk to us about building wealth. He's here all the way from Washington, D.C., ladies and gentlemen. I get him here. I fly him in from all over the world. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. You know, I don't play around. We spare no expense here at Lucas Live. But he will be here today talking to us about that. He is a real estate tax accountant, in M&A, mergers and acquisitions. If you don't know what M&A is, I didn't know that till I was in the corporate world. M&A, I'm like, M&Ms, what are we talking about? M&A, mergers and acquisitions specialist. We're going to talk about that. There are opportunities for people out there that aren't currently business owners to buy a business. And sometimes we don't think about that. And you think, well, I don't know what to start, don't know what to do. Or maybe you're looking at a franchise like a McDonald's or something. You're like, I don't know how to get into that game. But there's a lot of businesses that are available, and more becoming available every day, where you could go take over a viable business. Most of you know I worked at McKinley Early Childhood Center for many years ago, and the owner, who I refer to as the owner, there was an owner when I first started that wasn't the owner that was there when I left, and he came and bought a cash flowing business. And so he bought a daycare that was already making money. So day one, he bought it, he took out a loan to buy it from the people. The people got their money, the bank is holding the debt. He has a payment on the debt. So like you have a house payment, right? But he still owns the business. Like you say, I still own the home, even though you're paying on the house. And so he's taking the money he's making from the business and paying the loan, but still making money into his own life and household and family. And that's how you acquire a business. Those opportunities exist, but most of us don't know how to do it. Today, we're going to talk about it. If you're watching us here live on LinkedIn, we want to welcome you. Maybe some of you out there are looking at the M&A space and looking at acquiring some businesses, and you want to know, maybe you're watching from anywhere and you want to hear more about this. We're going to talk about bridging that wealth gap, ladies and gentlemen, for minorities, women. So many people are there, just the regular class people to the very wealthy. It's not even about race or gender. There's just some big gaps in the way the world is set up right now. So we're going to talk about how do we bridge those gaps. It's one thing to complain. It's one thing to be equipped with the tools, skills, and knowledge to know what to do about it. Good morning. People who are jumping in. Good morning. Jason Lilly, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you for always being here, saying good morning, saying hello. Aunt Gloria, hello. My Aunt Gloria was telling me to go to bed last night. I'm all twisted around in time because of our time zone change. I was in Alaska. It was 4 hours behind. So I don't know what day it is, ladies and gentlemen. I left on a Tuesday. All I know is I was gone for 2 nights and I only had a hotel for one. That's all I know. One night I was on a plane all night, and it was a lot of, it was rough. But that red eye home sounds good until you on it and you're like, I can't believe I thought this was gonna be a good idea. But I'm glad to be back and excited. We have a lot of other great things going on. I wish I had the flyers. I should have pulled them up. The Road to the Classic starts this weekend. There are events starting tomorrow. There's a youth football game tomorrow, some other events. The parade is this Sunday. I'm going to get some information up there, as well as the HBCU Classic. I'll be putting out some information about the HBCU Classic on Labor Day weekend. We hope you guys come out and support all the great events There is a gospel concert once again down here at Centennial Plaza. There is other great events going on that I'm going to tell you guys about, as well as the game. We want to make sure we go to the game, get those tickets. We don't get a lot of opportunities to see HBCU culture right here in our community, and we get that every year now, thanks to the Black College Football Hall of Fame. So you guys make sure you check those things out. What else do we have going on here today? Last night we had Donnell Jones versus Joe in the Versus. That was a lot of fun. If you guys are fans of 90s R&B, that was a lot of fun. Now, I don't know what Donnell Jones came to do, but I don't know. He just don't have enough hits. He just don't got enough. I don't think it's fair for us to play my man poor Donnell Jones. Donnell Jones got like 3 songs. I said he got like 2 in a possible, right? If this was Spades, he knew he came into the game with a hand that wasn't right. He couldn't win the game. Joe has so many hits, like an incredible amount of hits. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, last night was a little bit rough. If you guys missed it, let me see. I think I got a clip here. Let's see. I think we got Donnell Jones right here. Let's see what he was talking about. He was trying. I mean, this is his signature song, and he was struggling. He didn't want to be there last night, y'all. I don't think so. Now, this Joe song right here is like one of many. Like, talk to me, tell me where you were. I mean, this is a classic right here, and this is not even one of the. This is not even one of the songs that you would think of first when you think of Joe. Okay, that's a Stevie song, right? He was shaky. I don't know if something was wrong with the sound. I don't know. Don't want to be a player. He had that in the remix. He brought out G-Unit. I mean, this was incredible. I mean, it was a lot of fun to watch, but it was kind of hard to watch at the same time. We shout out to our guy, poor Donnell Jones. We love you, Donnell. You know, we wish you the best today. I mean, the crazy part is that Donnell took that L when we loved him anyway, right? But when you put people head to head, then you got to start picking sides, and then you start realizing how much better Joe is than Donnell Jones. Donnell Jones, just as Donnell Jones, was cool. If Donnell Jones came to R&B Fest next year, we would have been like, cool, Donnell Jones is here. We'd have been excited about it. And maybe he will. I don't know. But when you put him up against Joe, now we got to be like, man, Donnell, you only got 3 songs, man. This is rough. It wasn't good. Then he wasn't singing them that good. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was a lot of nerves. Shout out to the people at Versus, though. It's a lot of fun for us to get to relive some of our great hits and great entertainers. So shout out to them. That was a lot of fun last night. If you guys missed the Versus, go check it out. I'm sure it's on Instagram still at Versus TV. It was a good time last night. Shout out to them. Shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to Footage Fusion. Here at Footage Fusion, we are continuing to build as we help people with short form video editing, podcasts, and more. But what we are about to put our main time and energy into is helping people capture the stories of their families and their legacy. We want to make sure that you all do not miss those opportunities. And Aunt Gloria's here, and I'm going to be sending her a link to record some stories, or I'm going to get with her, bring her here, and have her just answer some questions. I mean, it's not complicated. These are questions that if we ask, they answer. We were talking yesterday. We were texting about some family things, and she answers because she knows those stories. They're right there on the. She can recall them and talk about them. But do we record the people saying those things? Not often enough. And I missed that opportunity with my mom, and I'm not going to miss it with my aunt. I'm not going to miss it with my dad. I'm not going to miss it with others, and I don't want others to miss it. Because that history, that legacy, those stories are priceless. And it's not just about when they're gone. Now, that is when it will be the most valuable. But it's valuable now because there's days where you just needed to hear that again, or you needed to share that with your children, or we need to capture those family stories, history, recipes. We're going to capture those things, and we have built a system to help people do that in a very simple way, using their cell phones, using a very simple link that comes back to us. We put it all together, and we present it to you, as well as tributes. When you want to tell somebody on their special day, happy birthday, congratulations, or even get well soon, we want you to be able to send out a link to the family and friends who you want to collect those videos from. All they have to do is push the button. It records them on their phone. The video automatically comes back to me. They don't have to do anything special. Me and my team will be able to put it together and get it back to you if you're the one who purchased the package. And you'll be able to send them that tribute or present it to them on their special day. whether it's at their birthday party, at the graduation party, or just something you send to them and say, we were all thinking about you. We love you. Congratulations on your special day. Happy birthday, or get well soon, or whatever it may be, will be available to you. We are building that out. We will have that available to you all very soon. We are very excited about that. Also, shout out to our friends at SARTA. Thank you so much, SARTA, for continuing to support us as we continue to support you, as you continue to support this great community. I believe there is an issue coming up on the ballot, which is separate from me and Sarda and our relationship. But I know that without things like that, we don't have the services that we have in our community. So you guys make sure we are conscious that even though it may not be a service you're using right now, you never know when it may be a service you or someone you know needs, ladies and gentlemen. So let's be in support of those who are in support of our community. Also, we have Jessica Danielle Nail, the Nail Bar. She will be at the Hall of Cuts Expo, which is coming up August 30th, I believe, at the John S. Knight Center. Tickets are available. I'm going to get a flyer and more information about that. Jessica Danielle also has some amazing tumblers. I mean, not only does she have nails and great nail techs and all this stuff, she has merch and other things. And a lot of times when I think of merch, I think most merch is marketing for the company. It's like, I don't want... everybody doesn't want to walk around with the Lucas Live Media t-shirt. Some of you guys love me and support me. I appreciate that. But most people, if you wear it, it would be marketing for me. It's not Nike. It's not like somebody's looking at you like you're wearing the nicest brand. You're just representing a company. So most companies give out merch as though they sell merch as though everybody just wants their CBS News shirt. I wouldn't want to wear a CBS News shirt, right? So it's often marketing, right? But when you do it well, like Jessica Danielle has done it, her tumblers look so amazing. I think it's way past marketing. I think it's a quality product. But again, the Hall of Cuts Expo, they have makeup, they have haircuts, they have so many different things that are going to be judged there. We're going to be there. We're excited about it. Shout out to Taj, who has been putting this on, Taj Mitchell, and everybody who's involved. I saw Liz, our girl Liz, Tyler is involved, and many others. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys get out and plan to come to the Hall of Cuts. We'll be giving you guys some more information about that in conjunction with Jessica Danielle Nails. Shout out to our friend Linda Rivenstein at the Linda Rivenstein team. If you guys are looking to buy or sell your home here locally, shout out to our girl Linda. She can help you out, or reach out to me and I can connect you to her. We appreciate her support of Lucas Live. Also, Ace Carpet Cleaning, ladies and gentlemen. If you need those carpets cleaned, you just got those kids out of the house for the end of the summer and you're looking at your carpets like, man, they were running in and out of the house all summer. And you want to get those carpets cleaned here, reach out to our friends at Ace Carpet Cleaning. They can take great care of you, whether it's at home or at your business. Reach out to our friends at Ace Carpet Cleaning, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys, we are going to get into the show and talk to our guest today. I'm excited to talk to him. Every time I talk to him, whatever building I'm in, I was in the building in Canton South. We're now in the building downtown. Every time I talk to him, he's like, "Oh, this is nice. You're renting this. Why don't you just buy the building?" I'm like, "Buy the what? Who buys buildings?" And he's like, "You can buy buildings." I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." So we're going to talk about it today. We're going to learn about acquiring assets, real estate, other things, and we're going to talk to him about how do we break this down and make this less scary and not something that is impossible or reserved for the rich and the elite, but it is something that is tangible and possible for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, my man, Mr. Sharif Small. What's up, my man?
Hey, good morning, sir. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to have you here today.
Hey, man, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, we've had this conversation.
Yes, we have.
And every time I talk to you, I'm always like amazed, because to you, it's like so second nature to think about mergers and acquisitions, which
Yeah.
again, I was not. And when I got into the corporate world and they started saying M&A, I was looking around like, I don't know what they're talking about, but that's real.
Yeah, very real.
And then tax strategies, we hear about the wealthy and the elite. We're often bothered that we hear that these very wealthy people are paying very little in taxes, and we're mad about it, not realizing that same tax code could work for us.
Yeah, it can.
If we understood it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely. I always say, don't just whine and complain, get in the game.
Okay. Let's start it off with a quote here.
And to do that, you got to own the business.
Okay, don't just whine and complain.
You got to get in the game. Yeah,
Let's go.
Things change all the time. You gotta be able to adapt and make some moves, man.
I love it. Let me make sure I share this broadcast. I didn't share it to my personal page. Let me get us going here.
Yeah,
make sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get some wealth strategies. That's what I'm gonna say. Let's tap in for some wealth strategies, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna talk about it today. It is. You said don't complain, get in the game. Now we're gonna talk to you about some specific strategies and things people can do.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna educate the audience on those things today, and then I'm gonna hear about your story, because your father was in finance.
Yeah, he was in finance. Yeah,
Okay. And your brother?
mathematician, but it's still
Okay.
dealing with numbers. Yeah.
Okay, so he was a numbers guy.
Yeah.
And then you're in finance, and then your brother is.
So my brother, he got his degree in economics, so he's in private equity. So yeah, we're in pretty much the finance business. So yeah, my dad worked for the government, math teacher, worked for the government. But then he also started his own tax practice, and he got into real estate. But I can't, forget my aunt. My aunt was like really like the matriarch because unfortunately, both my grandparents had passed away.
Yeah.
And then she wound up passing. But before then, my dad, yeah, he had businesses on this level. My aunt had businesses on this level.
Okay.
So you familiar with like Mary Kay, right?
Yeah.
Mary Kay. So she had a red and a pink Cadillac. She was like a legal hustler. But she was a teacher too. She was an English teacher. My dad was a math teacher. So education, which is very important, very key. So we do like workbooks, and we had to do stuff throughout the year. Like when school starts at the end of the year, that's it. Nah, we had to go to
keep learning.
We had to go to the library, get a favorite book we had to read for the whole year. Then we had to do math books and things like that because they both was educated. Then my dad got into government. And my aunt, she stopped teaching, and she did Mary Kay full time. Bought 10 acres of land in South Carolina. This is like in the 80s in South Carolina near Myrtle Beach. And then she and then they got into real estate, and then then she had a hobby doing ceramics. And then that hobby just turned into a business. She wanted to own like a ceramic shop. But when she wanted to get a space to do this, because in our basement, she had Mary Kay on one end, she had ceramics on the other end. So it was just too much stuff. So then she went and got a space, but she didn't just lease the space, she bought it. Like she bought the building. Right.
That's a different level.
Yeah, she bought the building. And not only did she buy the building, she bought a mixed use building.
Okay.
Which means that she had a store on the first floor.
Y'all listen to this. Now listen to this. Listen to what he's about to tell us here.
Yeah.
Shout out. What's up, Tiff? I see you. What's up? I see you tagged Ramir. Shout out to you guys. Congratulations on the baby. Kaisen Saint. Welcome to the world. Our girl Tiff on our team just recently had a baby. Shout out to her.
Congratulations. That's a blessing.
And her and Ramir, they're going to build wealth, and they're going to get assets and set their baby up.
As you should.
And their baby is weeks old, and what they can learn today can change their child's life.
Yes, you should.
So, Tiff, thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Ramir, hopefully you get to tap in or watch the replay. If you're watching live or by replay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. If you're here by replay, type replay in the chat. If you're watching from the outside in on Facebook, y'all, I realize this, again, watching other people go live, you can just be scrolling and you're there watching and you can hear me, but you don't hit the thing to like come into the broadcast. Hit the thing, come into the broadcast. Just say hello. You don't, just because you come in and say hello doesn't mean you're stuck for life. You can just come in and say hello and get involved. Also want to we also have a winner from last week. We announced earlier in the week that we have a winner. I'll be putting that out later today so you guys can hear who won because they came in and commented and engaged. We're going to do more giveaways for people who are engaging. What's up, my man? Hollis Alexander. What's going on? Welcome. You guys tag somebody in the comments. Tiff tagged Ramir. You guys tag somebody in the comments who you know could use this conversation. Somebody who's been saying they want to get into real estate, they want to own a business, they don't know which way to go with it, or they're already started something, but they don't know how to get the resources or the money to do it. We're going to talk about it. This is a tax strategist. Also, when you work for yourself, Tiff, you do work for us as an independent contractor. She's done nails. She's done a lot of things. There's a way to work that thing. You don't have to like, you make that money, and then if you don't track your expenses well, you go to your tax person at the end here, and they're like, you owe money. You're like, how did somebody make $1 billion and not owe money, and I made 20,000 and I owe money? It's simple. It's just what you know.
Well, the thing is, they got structures and systems in place. So the key thing, they keep track of everything because they have something called like QuickBooks.
Yeah,
and I think that's very important. So I would say that for you to get to your future, you got to have your foundation in order.
Yeah,
right. So one of the things that we do as an accountant, as a CFO, fractional accounting, is making sure that your business and your books are in order. You got to know your numbers. You got to know your margins. 90% of businesses don't. Unfortunately, that's why I would say unfortunately, but fortunately, that keeps us in business. Because when people come to us, they want to grow and scale their business. They want to get some capital. First thing they're going to do is what your profit loss statement, what your balance sheet look like. You can put together an Excel spreadsheet. That's cute.
Okay.
But you get it over to like a lender or an investor, you're like, has an accountant looked at this? No. So you want to make sure that you have your...
Hold on. That is great. That is great to hear because I've been an entrepreneur for many years myself,
Yeah.
and it's easy. I take my stuff to my tax person, they do whip it up into something that looks a lot neater than what I have. But what I have myself half the time is I'm looking at spreadsheets and stuff.
Yeah,
And
Lord,
like you said,
yeah.
that's cute,
That's old school right
but an
there. You
investor's not looking
really
at
want to
that.
make
So,
so this is 2026, something called modern technology. I love not say I love QuickBooks, but I love that you have some type of
yes,
accounting software system because a lot of things now it got AI
and it
features.
can track it
It
and
can
figure it
automate
out.
for the most part,
Yes,
right? You still want to have like a human element
yes,
to catch the errors, the overview, to make sure that it makes sense,
yes.
right? But at least will get you at least 70 to 80% the way you need to be. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of businesses because when you think of businesses, they focus on the front end. You know,
Mhm.
if you're a nail tech, you're a chef, you're a good cook, you just focus on having
You
good
just want to
food.
have
Yeah,
good
you're a
food, and
transportation.
there's money coming in to
Yeah,
buy more food and serve more
yeah, and
people
you
and
do
make a little
transportation.
money.
You just make sure you get deliveries on time. That's the front and stuff. But what
Mhm.
about the back and stuff, right? You
Yes.
know, are you making money, but are you making a profit?
Yeah.
So you got to understand, you know, your numbers and know your margin, the foundation of your business. Especially when you're looking in capital, you got to have your taxes completed. But before you get your taxes done, you got to have your books in order. And unfortunately, a lot of people always want to go and get their taxes done. And then I'm like, okay, where's your books at? Huh? What? I just got receipts and I just had a bank statement. No, that ain't going.
That's
That's
not
going to
it.
take forever. Because, you know, as accountants, that's why a
Yeah.
lot of people want to complain and say it's hard to get in contact with a CPA account because we're trying to crank people in. And then we work with people throughout the year to get their books in order. So when the time comes,
It's
the books are
easier.
on it, we can just pull it, taxes get done, get good. But when you got to start from square one, you got to file an extension,
Mhm.
wait to add the tax season,
Yeah.
and then get you done then because you got to go back and start educating them and get the basic stuff. But now some people do want to do that. Most people don't. That's fine. I always tell people we would not get your tax done if your book's not in order, right?
Yeah.
Because there's something called fraud. There's something called doing things from illegal where you just put any and everything down there. So I always tell people, you know, go somewhere, get somebody else to do that for you. We just not going to do
You're not
that as
touching
well.
that.
Yeah, because we've been in business 35 years. My dad started the tax practice during that time. Then I worked for 5 years and I took over the company 20 years ago.
Mhm.
So doing the taxes, bookkeeping, payroll. And then from there, it was more so taxes on the personal side. Then the last 10, 15 years, we could focus more on small businesses and more nonprofits because we felt that it was a multiple needed services.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people now can go get their taxes done personally. You know, you can go to H&R Block, you can do it online,
Mhm.
things of that nature, or you can go somewhere they may offer you tax services at no cost
Yep.
based on your income. But when you have, you know, businesses, you have a family, kids, you have real estate, then that's when you want to seek professional help. And that's what we come in and kind of help you with.
I love that, and I think what we want to talk about today too is breaking down the stigma, not scaring people. Good morning, Ramir. Thank you so much for jumping in. What's up, my man? I was sending him a
You know
text.
everybody, don't
Yeah,
you?
well, I tried to. I tried to look. You
Like
know this
so.
lady here, Alicia. I think you know her. She
Oh,
shares
my
your
beautiful
last
wife.
name.
Hey,
It's
baby,
okay.
that's the
That's your
reason why I'm
beautiful
here.
wife. Yes.
Shout out, hey, love, my beautiful wife, Alicia Small,
Shout out to your
of
beautiful
9
wife.
years.
Yes,
Best
yes,
decision I've
yes.
made was marrying my beautiful wife.
The best thing you ever
I
did.
was hoping she'd still be up, you know.
All right.
Always gotta get that beauty rest.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You're like, are you gonna get up and be on checking me out on the show? Yes, it's okay for her to get her beauty rest. And Miss Karen Wynn Stover,
Oh,
you know her too.
that's my mama
That's
love.
your mother-in-law, isn't it? Okay, the
That's my
mother-in-law,
mama in love.
the mom in love. I
Mama
love
in
it.
love.
She's such a
Yeah.
sweetheart.
Yes, yes.
What a wonderful family.
Yeah. But one of the things that I was talking about with
Yeah,
my aunt, she was somebody she had owned
right. You were
the
talking about
building,
that,
right? So yeah, because that's why I tell you know a lot of people have a hobby and they want to selling things, right? Turn a hobby into an
and she
actual
was doing Mary
business.
Kay,
She was doing
and
Mary
she was doing
Kay, and
ceramics.
she was just doing ceramics where she was just doing it as a gift to people, but then people liked it, and then people want to start paying for it
Yeah.
and buying it, and it just got to a point to where it came like an actual business. But
Mhm.
her mindset, that's the first thing I was trying to talk to you. You got to be able to change the mindset. And sometimes I think in our community we think too small. We need to be thinking bigger, and that's one of the biggest things that I got for. And it's not something that she said. The difference
Mhm.
between saying and doing, right?
Okay.
She actually did it because me and my twin brother, we worked for her. She was the first person I worked for.
Interesting.
Age 7. Now keep that number in mind because we talked about that number,
Okay.
right?
All right. We talked
That's the
about that.
number of completion in the
Yes.
Bible. So the age 7,
7.
we
Yes.
worked for her because she bought the building and we was in there. We did the cash register. We answered phones. We sweep the floors. When supplies were coming, we would go and bring in supplies. Each month, she had a tenant because I
Okay.
told her it was a mixed use building.
And I want you to explain what that
Yeah.
is.
So mixed use is where you have an office on the first floor and you have an apartment on the second floor.
Okay.
Because you have commercial buildings, then you have residential apartments, and then you have mixed use building, was a combination
Right.
of both. And she wound up buying. I can't remember how much she bought of both, but she wound up buying it. Each me and my twin brother would take turns going upstairs collecting the rent money, bring it back down, and count it in front of her. Now, if it was short, she would go up there with something in her hand to make sure she got the rest of it. But I ain't tell you she did.
You're not gonna tell us
She
what she
ain't
went up there
play.
with.
If it was 50 cents short, she did not play. But it was this exposure how not just how to make money, but how to make your money work for you.
Yes.
She was making money from the ceramic shop. She's making money from the Mary Kay, and she's making money from the second floor tenant. And when you own the building, number one, it's something called appreciation. That's why I love real estate. It appreciates in value. So what you buy for is more than what you buy for. Then you can write off on your taxes as well too. So it was a mindset thing when exposing it. And again, I was putting this on payroll, which we talked about before.
Right.
It was a tax write-off. So it's another thing too.
We can put our kids on payroll.
Yeah, the earliest is age 7.
Okay.
So instead of paying them wages, you pay them allowances. I'm sorry, instead of paying them allowances,
at home,
you pay them wages. So stop paying them allowances. Stop it. Just pay them wages.
Because it's better off for you.
It's tax deductible to the business. So it's 16.
But you just pay them a regular allowance. That's just allowance. That's not counted anywhere. That's your personal income that you have to pay income tax.
Is that already after tax money?
Right.
It's already been taxed on. So this here was pre-tax money because you already made your money first. You put them on payroll, and it's $16,000 each. So how do you go about doing it? Number one, you got to have QuickBooks.
Okay, first
you got to have accounting software.
Get your accounting software together.
Yeah, but then you got to have a payroll. You got to have payroll software. So those are two separate things, but they can be parallel. So accounting software can offer both. Like you can have QuickBooks where they offer bookkeeping to track your expenses and your revenue, and then you have payroll to track who you pay, and that could be W-2 or it could be 1099 contract as well. Now they both have their own separate fees and subscriptions, but there's a tax write-off too because you're paying for that. So you got to treat them as a legitimate employee. So they got to fill out a W-4. They got to fill out a I think they got to fill out a state withholding form. And how I came in with that, but then they got to fill out an I-9 form. I think at age 7 they can take their time and sign those forms, right? And they gotta fill out a timesheet. Like you can actually just put them in it, but they gotta actually, and they gotta sign a document saying that you can fire them as you give them a handbook at the whole 9. You can fire them at any time as the actual employee. But the key thing is $16,000 each that you can put them on pay. You don't have to withhold any federal, no state, no Social Security, Medicare taxes because they're under the age 18. No Social Security, it costs money to hire employees. Yes, because there's something called payroll taxes,
and it's way more than just what people think you hire them and you're just paying them what you're paying them. But it costs you a lot of money. You got to pay workers'
salary, wages, salary taxes, unemployment insurance. And I think there's other stuff too. Yeah, unemployment insurance, and there was something I can't remember what it is. That's good, but it costs money. Because if people work for you, then they start working for you. For a certain period, they can collect unemployment. Workers' compensation. That's what it is. You gotta get workers' compensation. But with your kids, you ain't got to do that, right? Okay. So you can pay them on $16,000 straight and still claim them on your tax returns as well too.
Fascinating. That's a win-win right there.
But another thing too is this how you change the kid mindset from making money to make the money work for you. You take half of that money, put it in a Roth IRA. Okay. So now the money is working for them. So now they learn about mutual funds, stocks, bonds, right? So then they go from age 7 to age 18. So they decide to go to college. They got money for college because you can pull money out of Roth IRA. Far as the contributions, right? And they won't get taxed. On the earnings, it still would be taxed with no 10% penalty. Okay. On the earnings on it. Just still no 10% penalty, right? They can go to college. So you can have money from that. What if they don't go to college? Then they can decide to buy a house. So they can take out the first $10,000 without no penalty, right? Or they can do both. Wherever they go to college, I just buy a 4-unit apartment complex. Where they at, right?
Wait. Okay. Do you say this? You said this to me before.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good morning, Zanita. I see you here. Hello. You guys, when you guys tap in, say good morning. Let us know you're here. We appreciate it. You don't have to, but we know you're busy. We know you guys got a lot going on. Kids are getting back to school and everything. But say hello. And if you can't watch and continue to engage, listen to it like a podcast. It is a podcast. Just let it play there if you're, or turn it on on YouTube if you have to, or play it however you can play it and listen to get this information. And if you have to come back and watch this replay, because these are the I would say, and I want you to talk about, you said, go buy a unit.
Yeah,
like we think
buy a
about
4-unit apartment.
Yeah, we think about paying for the dorm, paying for my middle daughter Ashanti was in college last year, and She first of all, she was in Florida, so it looked like a luxury resort.
I
But
bet it
what
is.
it cost every month to pay for this girl to be in this luxury resort was nuts. And every month I'm sending her this money thinking,
Ooh,
I want her to be in school though. Proud of her for doing that.
but you can.
But man, but you're saying go
Yeah,
buy
you
the
can buy
dorm,
a
go
full
buy
you
the
you can buy a
apartment.
duplex, you can buy a triplex. So anything from a residential. My wife knows, she's does title work, just to let y'all know
Shout
who's
out to her.
looking at buying something.
Yes, yes,
She
she
can
can
do the
help. They
title
can
of
both. They
commercial
can
and
bring it
residential, you know what I'm
together for you.
saying? But you can buy up to up to 4 units as a
Mhm.
residential, right?
Right.
Anything 5 and above is commercial. So you can buy a 4 unit, live in 1 unit, rent out the other 3 units. Because the
Okay.
key thing is really the Robert Kiyosaki, right? It's not asset. It's not put money in your pocket.
Rich
It's
dad, poor dad.
yeah.
Okay.
If it's not put money in your pocket, it's a liability. If it's put money in your pocket, it's an asset.
Yes.
So it's a mindset thing. So you want to buy a 4 unit, live in one, rent out the other 3 units. That's cash flow. The second unit will pay your mortgage. The third or fourth unit is extra money just coming in on top of it. And then the key thing about it is make your child that is, or your young adult, let me say it that way,
Uh-huh.
that's away, they be owner occupied, meaning they have to live in it, right?
Okay.
You can be a non-occupied, which means you can actually buy it with your child. Now it will be on your credit report, right? Your young adult is supposed to show double your income for the last 2 years. Well, ding, 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 ding.
You've been paying
Where
them.
that double to income coming
There you
from, right?
go.
That's number one. Number two is I think during that time period, you want to think about adding your child as authorized user, right?
On credit
When
cards.
one of your credit. Now, that's if you have good credit.
Okay.
If you don't have good
Don't be
credit,
messing them up with
don't
your
do
messed
that.
up
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, because some people put stuff in their kid's name and they not help building that credit. Because again, you gotta learn how to leverage credit the right way, not abuse it when it really comes down. So
Right.
you can add them in one of your credit cards that you may use once a year.
Mhm.
Use it, pay it off. Use it, pay it off. So when they get 18, the credit score over 800 or over 700,
Yeah.
right? Because they only go up to 850, 300 to 850. You want to be over 700.
Right.
So then they can show good credit and they can show good cash flow coming in because they're making money. So then they can go in as owner occupied. You could be a non-occupied owner. And back in the day, you would go FHA, right?
Yeah.
Now you ain't gotta do that. Conventional, 5% down.
What are you telling us? FHA is a government program, first time home buyer,
First time
something
home
like
buyer.
that.
Yeah, it's
But
3.5% down, which means that the government is guaranteeing the loan if you
mhm,
were to default, which means that if you default on that,
the bank still gets their money.
they get that money, but you're going with the government.
Oh,
That's the key
I
thing. You
never
want to be
knew that. I
careful.
didn't
Yeah,
think
you go with the
about that.
government.
Okay,
Yeah,
you
you
owe
gotta
it
be careful.
somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's
The
why they
government gonna
don't
get their
mind
money.
and use that's why they don't mind taking that risk on first time home buyers when it
Gotcha.
really comes down to it. But now, but back in the day, conventional, you still had to put 15, 20% down, even as an owner occupied. But in FHA, it would be 3.5. But now they just changed it 2 years ago, 5% down now. And
On a traditional loan.
on the traditional 5, and it could be
Interesting.
less than 5% if you're first time home buyer, right? Because you get down payment assistance, you can ask for seller help. On
Yeah.
top of that, I've had clients that got to the closing table and got a check
I did
on the
that.
closing table.
I'm 90%. Yeah, we got to check at the closing
Yeah,
table.
because you
Yeah.
got first time home, and the first
Yeah.
time home does not mean you never own a home. It's just I have not owned a home in the last 2 3
I
years.
know that's fascinating
See,
too.
yeah.
Cause
Say you
that's
sold a home, you moved somewhere, and then you decide a couple years later you want to buy again. You're a first time home buyer.
that's
Again, when it really
fascinating.
comes down to it. So this is the things that people need. And then there's the thing: 2 years later, right?
Mhm.
Because she's there. Because usually freshman year they kind of still want you to be on campus. Usually,
Yeah,
first.
they do.
But then sophomore year, maybe junior year. But then so by your sophomore year, something to look into. But then maybe by your junior senior year, you can refinance that, put it in the LLC,
Mm,
turn it into a business. Now it's off your credit report. Then guess what? You buy again.
interesting.
You move it. So every 2 3 years, you want to think about
Buying more.
before you decide to settle and have a family. So now, yeah, because what you're doing, you're creating something called portfolio income. So I always try to tell people you want to go from a paycheck to a profit to portfolio income. Because
Paycheck
to a
to
profit, I call it
profit
three
to
P's: portfolio
portfolio
income.
income.
Because a lot of people are serial entrepreneur, but you want to be a portfolio entrepreneur. There's
All
a
right, we
difference.
got to break that down. All right, what's up, Terrence? Terrence Jones is in the building. He
Oh,
said, "Good
TJ.
morning."
I was just with him yesterday.
Were
My
you?
guy.
That is funny. I sent the picture of you being on the show to several people I knew, and not because I didn't know Terrence knew you, but I sent it to him because he's somebody who is
Yeah.
making
He
moves and
does
wants to know
great
what's
work, yeah,
going
in the
on and
community.
does
Yeah, he
great
had
work in
us
our community.
teach some financial literacy to his kids too. So
Love that. I didn't even know that. I sent it to Terrence. He said, absolutely, I'll be watching. And shout out to you, Terrence. He's a return
uh,
guest on the show. Terrence, I gotta
yes,
have you
yeah.
back, Terrence. We got to do a report out on what we
Support his
did.
nonprofit. Donate.
Simply Youth, ladies and gentlemen, check them out. Donate, support.
Yeah, but
That's something else I want to talk to you about before we get too far.
no problem.
Is not okay. So we're going to talk about from paycheck to profit
Profit.
in a business.
Yeah.
To like, I'm cutting grass, I'm doing something, and I'm not spending more money on the gas at the gas station than I'm making from cutting the lawns. I got to make money when I'm done with this at the end of the month.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, I
Yeah.
want to come out and say I wasn't just doing a hobby, because at some point you were just out there playing. You were making something, baking cakes, doing something that you loved, and money was coming in, but it didn't mean you were actually profiting because you didn't even realize how much the flour and the sugar and the milk cost.
Yeah, you got to know your net profit. Yeah.
And so you got to know your net profits, and you got to know your margins.
Your margins, your numbers, yeah.
And I would say, even as a business owner myself, I have Tyndale Training, where I do corporate training. I have Lucas Life
You got
Media,
everything.
and I have Footage Fusion. But what I never had really, and I'm still learning, and my wife and I have really been working on this the last few years, is like financial literacy. And we're going to dinner with you tonight.
Yeah.
But it was like, because we were raised
To be workers.
with a worse P called poverty.
Yeah.
We didn't know anything. There was nobody had anything.
And paycheck.
And
That's all
paycheck,
we yeah.
paycheck, and poverty.
Get a good
nobody knew.
government job, or unfortunately live on government
Just
assistance.
make it.
And it's like the quality of life is going to be here. And what I want for our people is to at least have a middle class quality of life or above. And too many of us living into the poverty mindset, where there's drugs, there's crime, there's vacant houses. You know, I live in Baltimore, so unfortunately I see that all too, often. So, I have a nonprofit where we do a lot of financial literacy, entrepreneurship, workshop, and on real estate. And the mindset is, don't just own the business, but own the building.
Do you hear that? Do y'all hear that? Do y'all hear what he just said? This is the thing.
I don't own the building.
And I didn't know this was your fault. He said, don't just own the business, own the building.
Own the building, yeah.
Every time, like I said, we were in Canton South, and you came and met with me down there. You said, oh, it's a nice building. It's a whole plaza.
It's like, who own it?
Because
I want to know who owns the deed. Just like if somebody was making music, well, who's the executive producer? Who's getting the royalties? Who's getting the publishing check? Because they're the ones that making the real money, not the artists. That's why most artists go broke.
Right.
And even when you think about athletes and entertainers, they're making pretty good money.
Right.
But just think about how much the owner
That's what Shaq
is
said.
making.
Think about who's writing.
If I can pay you $400 million a year,
How much money?
just think about how much that owner, and they get a tax write-off for owning, and also for owning players too. They get a tax write-off for those salaries.
That is
right.
insane.
A lot of times it's not how much they making, is that the value keeps going up.
Yes.
So in the future when they sell it,
like the Lakers just sold for some ridiculous
Kushner
amount of
family.
money.
So see, Kushner ties to what? Leave that alone right now. But I'm just saying though, it's a family business. That's just how they move. And they own thousands of properties in Baltimore. People don't even know that. They own thousands of properties, but they own properties everywhere. That's what I say. You got to go from paycheck to a profit to portfolio. And what I mean by, I want to break that down.
Yeah, let's break that down. So you guys heard that. Somebody type 3 P's in the chat there. Type 3P in the chat. From paycheck to profit in your own
portfolio
business,
income.
to portfolio income. We have multiple businesses, not just a serial entrepreneur. I'm doing a bunch of stuff that I'm building on businesses that are all cash flowing.
I'll give you a quick example. So we've been taught, like I said, to get a good job and things, and that's pretty much a paycheck. Right. But there's a net to that, right? Yeah. They tell you, we're gonna pay $100,000 a year, but what you take home pay, that's different. Sure. And then you got one stream of income. So you got to go from salary, and it's cool to start that way, but then how do you leverage that to acquire wealth building assets? That's why we mentioned getting into real estate and owning businesses, and then we'll touch a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Then, you start a good business, right? And then the business became successful. That's great, right? You own the business, is doing very well, right? But you created a job for yourself. So you go from being an employee to being self-employed. Then you go from self-employed to being a business owner, which means, you got some employees, which is good, but you still be paying payroll taxes. Yeah. Now, then you have investors. That's portfolio. That means you are investing into businesses. And you go from ordinary income, right? We get taxed around 33. So you go from capital gain taxes. Okay. That's 10-15% tax. So then you cut it in half. That means you are investing. So I'm a minority owning 3 hotels, which means we own 2 residence in
and Hampton. 3 hotels?
So as a minority owner, yeah.
Oh, you're a minority
owner.
So
2 residence in Hampton Inn Suite. So I'm a portfolio. That's part of my portfolio. So when I get paid and when I get taxed, I get taxed on a capital gain. I don't get taxed on ordinary income.
What is a capital gain?
So capital gain is when you own assets and you own it for more than a year. If you own something for less than a year, it's going to be ordinary income. If you own it for more than a year, then going to ordinary income, the capital gains taxes. So you say you got mutual funds, stocks, bonds, things of that nature. So I think of Elon Musk, right?
Yep.
He owns Tesla, then he owns the SpaceX, which is cool and everything.
Right.
But his stock is through the roof.
Crazy.
And
Triple
how did he buy Twitter?
with this.
He
It wasn't even his own money.
No, well, so he used it's called a margin account, right? So he just borrowed stock. He went to a bank. It's worth this. I
Yep.
want to borrow half of what it's worth. Took that money and bought. And guess what? He ain't pay no taxes because he borrowed from it. It was no taxes.
Because you don't pay taxes on loans.
No, see, no,
Wow.
because he borrowed against his stock. Now, if you can't control what you don't own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you own a business,
Mm-hmm.
but you gotta go from owning the business to owning the lot to owning the building. Then because again, that appreciates in value where you can something called leverage, right? So I bought my building in 2018.
So you're in Baltimore.
I'm in Baltimore.
And tell them what your business is, and then tell them what you're building it. Like, what was that? What is it?
So SJ's financial firm, CFO, fractional accounting, M&A advisory, and taxable strategies. So we operate out of there. Sometimes we have, most times that we're not. But I have a mixed use building, right?
Yep.
Which and why do I have a mixed use building? Because I was exposed to buying a mixed use building. Because I had a home office. Then I got married, and then I ain't want people coming to my house no more.
Right.
I think my wife ain't going to deal with that. Right. She ain't want to play with that. Yeah, she so I had to buy a year later. I wanted to buy the building, and I bought a mixed use building. Again, it was office on the first floor, apartment on the second. I bought it for 150,000.
Yeah.
2 years later, it appraised at 225.
Wow.
So what you think I did? I bought another building on the next block.
Okay, so because you had equity in the building,
because I had equity,
you could go to a bank and say,
I was able to refinance it, and then I bought another building with a tenant already in the next building, our nonprofit, on triple net lease. If you don't know what triple net lease is, that means the tenant pays the taxes, does their own maintenance, and they pay the insurance. It's called mailbox money. Because sometimes it's good to be in real estate, but sometimes a lot of times real estate can be a headache.
It can eat you up because everybody thinks going into real estate is easy money.
No, it's not.
The hot water tank goes out, the roof leaks, the something. That's some.
And then on top of it, say you have like Section 8 tenants or things change and then people don't pay. Where we at, it takes a year to get people out.
Wow.
And that's a problem. Now I like it here because you can get them out in a couple of days here. I like the state here.
I'm gonna ask you.
So that's why things get political. You got to know what states you want to.
Like New York.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of consumer protection that's going on in New York.
Yeah.
Which sounds great for a consumer.
But it doesn't benefit the landlord and the business. So that's why I tell
most people aren't landlords, so we don't care. So we're like, well, good, because we're mostly tenants or homeowners.
We're homeowners, yeah.
And we're like, well, yeah, it is unfair because there are, I'm sure, landlords gouging people and disrespecting people. But your thought is some of that is hard because there are good landlords who are trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, I'm one of them, and it's still been a challenge. I call it tenants and toilets. I tell people if you don't want to evict anybody, don't get in real estate
because you're going to have to evict somebody.
It's one of the number one things you're going to be doing. That's unfortunate because when I say we buy properties, on mixed use building and apartment complexes, we're not just investing into the building, we invest into the people.
Yeah,
because our goal is to get people out of Section 8. We get through our financial literacy program. Through our nonprofit, we do workforce development, get them a better job. And a lot of times, the book jobs we get them is where they can get down payment assistance from that job as well too, because it's called Live Where You Work program. Yeah. And then we're nonprofit developers, we'll buy vacancies in the city, renovate them with some of the first-time home buyers and those Section 8 tenants. So then we'll have a house for them to actually buy from us. And we got them through the whole process. Then from there, we help them start their own business. So it's an ecosystem, as well too.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, it's an ecosystem. Now we want to do more because sometimes we get the funding, sometimes we don't, because we'll file 1C3 tax exempt. And there's other things that slows us up too. That's beyond control. I'll leave that for another time when it come down to it. But this to get back to my building.
Ps.
So
in your building.
But the building that we're at is called Black Wall Street, which means everybody on that block not only owns the business, but they own the building. And that's the reason why I bought on that block. So what I try to tell people is that you want to go from playing checkers to chess to playing Monopoly. If that makes sense, right? Checkers, you work for someone. Chess, you're working for yourself. But then when you get the Monopoly is when you not to start owning the business, you own the building. Just like what Tyler Perry said, you got to own your own stuff, own your own content, own your own land, own your own building, because there's value in that you can leverage that to be able to acquire other access. It's like Byron Allen does. He bought the Weather Channel. He's buying everything up.
Love Byron Allen.
He's buying. I told you the next Byron Allen. He's in media.
Let's go. Like that's how he started, right? It was just
media. Why not? He bought the Weather Channel. So that's how the mindset we have to have. So it's like you got to leverage your business that you're making it. So you make money from your business. There's something called SBA finance if you're not familiar with it. And so we know about FHA, we know about VA, we veterans.
We heard about PPP when that was a thing.
Yeah,
but we didn't realize that there are.
That's the only time the SBA gives out money is disaster loans. Typically, SBA does not give out money; they just guarantee the loan, just like FHA. It's a government program, but it's a government program that allows you to acquire asset.
But it exists.
Cash
It
flow.
doesn't.
It
but
exists.
it exists not just. I mean, an SBA loan, Small Business Administration loan, through the government, which comes through a bank or a local lender.
And there's a lot of preferred. There's a lot of lenders there. There's preferred SBA lenders, then there's other non-traditional that does SBA too. So you may have a fintech company that does like SBIC, which means they can actually lend money.
Interesting.
As well too on the SBA side. Sometimes they can move a little bit faster, and they still gonna get paid based if you were to default on it as well. And it just changed in July to where the max was $5 million. Right? There's a 7A for the buying an existing business, working capital, $5 million. And then there's an SBA 504 loan. Right. That's if you have your home office and then eventually you want to buy your own office building. That's particularly for real estate.
Right.
If you want, and that's what I did with my building. I did the SBA 504. And what I love about buying your own building, again, appreciates in value.
Right.
But it also depreciates. It means you can write it off on your taxes as well, too. That's why I love. That's why I love risk. So, and the key thing that means you can have an operating profit, but a paper loss, which you give to the IRS is one thing, but you give to the bank is different because they add back the depreciation.
Okay, how do you do that? Because here's a thought, and this may be different because I may be thinking of personal finance because there is a thing where I had a guest on Clashawn Wiggins was on the other day, and she was talking about we write everything off in our business, and we have no personal income.
Well, yeah, you gotta be
When
careful.
you go to get a car loan or house loan, you don't.
Well, people start writing off too much because at the end of the day, they focus on getting a big refund. And what you're doing, the government use your money interest free. So you want to think about eventually becoming an S corp, right? Because you want to start eventually WTing yourself because you start having a nonprofit as opposed to always having a net law, which is not a bad thing. You just gotta be strategic in how you deduct and how you pay your taxes. And what S corp helps you to save money on taxes. So the 2553 form, fill it all fax to the IRS within 90 days. You become no, do not W-2 yourself or put you on payroll. And I get it paid until you get your S corp election letter.
So you're saying as an LLC, you should not pay yourself?
Well, you can't. It's not. You shouldn't. You can't. So you can't W-2 yourself without becoming an S corp. And I've seen people do that, and you get taxed. I mean, you get a penalty. Like the IRS is the biggest. They don't play out there.
They don't play.
They don't play. So
they don't just send you a letter and say, "Hey, you should have been an S corp."
No, they was going to your money and they take it. But you got to make sure you become an S corp first. That's if you start making 50, 75, 100,000, you start netting 25, 30,000 a year. You need to be thinking about becoming an S corp. After you become an S corp, put yourself on payroll and doing that, which I think is key when it comes down to it. So, but yeah, you got to be careful when you do that when it comes to SBA. So you want to make sure that you can show that you have income coming in and that profit and put yourself on payroll. Because when you go to get the SBA financing, there's something called debt service coverage ratio, 100.25. You got to have enough income coming in on the net side to be able to cover the debt. And that's where they add your W-2 income and salary. They add that back. Your W-2 income and salary as well too to help out with the debt service coverage ratio, which is key. And that's what we did the SBA 504. So SBA typically does 50%. There's a CDC nonprofit does 40%, and you come with 10% plus closing to the table. There's a 2% guarantee fee, and all those fees are tax deductible because again, it's in your business. And the key thing I tell people, you never want to put your building in your business name. You want to put it in a separate LLC. And your company is on lease.
So it's in a business name, but not your
in a separate
particular
LLC.
business name.
Yeah, you put it in a separate LLC.
Okay.
Right? You put it in a separate LLC and your company. So that LLC, then you personally guarantee it, and then your company actually guarantees it as well too. Now, another good thing about it is not only your personal credit report, even though you personally guarantee it.
Okay.
But the thing is, the reason why you want to do this is where legal come in is because say your business can sue, which it will happen because people are crazy.
Okay.
Then they can come after your building because it's in your company name. That's why you keep it separate. Right. And then you put your company on lease. So I'm actually pay rent to my LLC every single month. So then that LLC gets its own tax write-off benefits. So that's why it says portfolio. Portfolio income. Yeah, when it really comes down to it. And that's how you protect yourself. Another thing is don't be your own registered agent because and I made that mistake.
What is a registered
agent? Is the person that represent the company if things go wrong, bad, got to go in court, letters, things of that nature. They will send those documentation or come to your house for anything to happen, because a lot of people, when they form a business, they put their name, their personal
Yeah.
address. No. So
Don't
what
do
we
that.
do is we use a registered agent company. I'm actually in Wyoming, so I'm a foreign company locally. So
Interesting.
I'm a Wyoming, yeah. So my S corp LLC's Wyoming. I do have a C corp because we have some deals that we're doing. We're going to be selling in a couple of years, like
Mhm.
some technology stuff. C corp Delaware.
That's everybody does that. Why?
Delaware.
Lowest taxes.
Tax breaks and more protection, because you don't have to publicize who owns it. You don't have to publicize who the board of directors and things of that nature. So it
So
provides
anybody
privacy,
can
more
do that. I mean,
protection.
that sounds
Because when you form a business, public record.
yeah, but it sounds like that wouldn't be allowed, but it is, right?
It definitely is
It sounds
loud.
like I'm
It's
in
called
Ohio,
loophole.
right?
Well,
And
the thing, you still form a business locally, but you're a foreign company in.
okay.
So like I'm a foreign company in Maryland now.
So when I go to register a business in Ohio, which I have, I either go to Ohio Business Gateway or I use some
That's cute.
service.
I don't recommend you do that. I would recommend you use a resident agent company form.
So what is a registered what like Google a registered agent
Yeah,
company?
yeah.
Okay.
There's one in particular. We actually have a partnership with a couple that we can recommend. But yeah, there's top registered agent companies you can look into. You show their rating and and you pay, and it does cost. It ain't expensive, but it's not. It's like
It costs
yeah,
more than
$100
a
something dollars.
$99 registration
$100,
fee.
and there's an annual fee that you pay
Okay.
to keep in good standing with that. But you'll form in one state first, then you got to form as a foreign company in the state you operate and do business in. So
Okay.
we do business in 5 states here in Ohio, DC, Virginia, of course, Maryland, and in Pennsylvania. So we're a foreign company in all states, but then we're a domestic company in Ohio.
So what do you do if you've already started a business like myself, right? I
You
already
can always
started already.
restructure and change it. It's always restructure, reorganize,
So what
restructure.
do I do?
But you
So
only want to do that once you start growing. So
okay.
like starting out, you may start off that way,
Okay.
right? Like your first business, you may not do the Wyoming. You may do where
Just
you at.
Ohio, go to Ohio
But
Business Gateway and get
still get a
started.
registered agent. I just recommend. Still get a registered agent. I
Okay.
still recommend.
So
You,
after this show, somebody's thinking about starting a business, or they've been doing a thing and they've never registered it as an LLC or anything. They should reach out to you and get some information about a registered agent, because you guys will help them get the LLC or the S corp or whatever it is, or the agency that you would
yeah,
recommend
yeah,
will
yeah.
help them do it.
Mm-hmm.
But they will do it in a
Because
way
some
that
people be
protects
using
them.
legals in right where they go
Yeah,
when they want up doing
but they're
that.
not a registered. Are they
Yeah,
one
they
of
could
those?
be a registered agent as well too. So
Okay.
that's another, option when it really comes down to.
Now that's
I
what
just try to
because
say you just want to make your house private as much as possible. You just don't want to be
you just don't
using
want to
it.
get sued and lose your
Yeah, you
stuff.
just want to use that. You want to
But
keep
don't you
that
think?
separate.
But we're always told if I have an LLC, limited liability
Yeah,
company,
yeah.
that separates my personal life and
But then
stuff.
so pierce the corporate veil. You've heard of that? Where
No.
sometimes people be using personal stuff with business and vice versa.
Yeah.
So then once you do that, then a good attorney can bypass that. Now,
Because
a
they'll be
real good
like,
attorney,
all that was tied up together.
yeah,
Yeah.
all the good attorney can always bypass that. So you
Yeah.
got to add protection on top of protection.
Yeah.
Now, starting out, you may be okay, but when you start, been in business for 20 years, you start
Somebody's
accumulating
gonna
certain
come for you.
assets, and your profile increases. That it gets different. So you got to protect yourself even more, and that's where we have a holding company. We're a holding company. Eventually, you want to have a trust holding company operating entity, because the name of the game is own nothing but control everything. That's we call it the Rockefeller method when it really comes down to
All right,
it.
we getting into this, y'all. I hope y'all. Good morning,
Now,
Rachel.
I
What's
do
up,
want to
Mona? What's
I
up?
do want
Keep
to
going.
clarify the SBA, because now
Yes,
they just changed that SBA from 5 million to 10 million now,
which is big.
which is
It's
very big.
double. That's
That's
crazy.
why I said stop whining and complaining and get in the game. Because
Mm.
again, we keep on focus on getting another good government job where we have a
Mhm.
government program that's out
Yeah.
there that can help you to bind the business, as opposed to just looking at getting another job. Because I had people that retired, what happened at the beginning of the year. People
Mhm.
was unfortunately losing their job, but then there's opportunity where their businesses the next 5 years, people are retiring. You got
Yeah.
baby boomers every time. So there are a lot of businesses that are available, car washes, laundry mats, self stores, and I advising these type of things. I got a client right now, retired, helping them buy a car wash, 2.1 million, making a good amount of money, netting no employees. SBA,
Is it an automatic car wash?
automatic self
Man,
stores terminal
come
wash.
on, man.
SBA going to do 90%. The SBA doing 85%. The seller's doing the 10% note. 5% that's going to be help with the down. So he's only bringing 5% plus closing to this. So again, you got to make sure you're dealing with someone that can structure the deal to where you putting down the least amount is already cash. When the goal is to help them buy 4 or 5. So then the way we're setting up that is that the the building is going to be in the LLC. The
Mhm.
business is going to be in a C corp.
Okay.
So the building and then because it's two separate entities
Hmm.
that you're buying in one, right?
Yeah.
Because you're buying the business and the building, right? Because
Right.
you don't want to put it all in one LLC. So you can put the business in a C corp, right?
Hmm.
Because it's in Maryland and right across it was Delaware, right there. So we got the Delaware for the business, then the foreign company here,
Yep.
and then the building is going to be in Wyoming and then an LLC. So the business is going to be paying lease to the building for the car wash. So say in the future, in 5 years, he wants
Wow.
to sell just the business, not the building,
Yep.
because you can sell it separately. Well, if he sell it, then there's something called a 1202 stock, where if it's under 75 meg, he can save money on taxes just by selling the business of the car wash because it's in the C corp using the 1202 stock. And
That's
the building is a tax write-off because you can write it off on your tax because you can write
because
you
it's
can
real
preach
estate.
it's
It's
real estate. It goes up in value, but it's called the tax write-off. So again, it's something called cost segregation, right?
right.
So he may have a net profit with the business, but the building is claiming a net loss.
Hmm.
The building's offsetting the profit. That's how the
Fascinating.
wealth does it all the time. It's called cost segregation.
Right.
They own one thing, they own another thing, and it offsets one to the other.
We
So
never
that's
hear
how,
about
again,
these
it's very
things.
important that you structure when you're
Right.
acquiring business the right way. Save money on taxes, appreciate value, and pay the least amount of taxes as well too. So we do those type of deals all the time. Love them. But with the SBA, there's another thing too. There's something called NACE codes, right?
Uh-huh.
So I have clients that own restaurants, and what I try to get them to do is don't just own a restaurant, own a hotel. So you can put your restaurant inside the hotel. So you make money from the restaurant, make money from the rooms,
Don't just
and
own the restaurant, own the
own a hotel,
hotel. What
and
are
you
you
can put a
talking
restaurant in.
about?
And
That's
people don't know
amazing.
you can use SBA finance to buy a hotel. And it ain't gotta be a brand or a market. It could be a boutique. And you can own a motel too. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Cause there's certain coaches that own nothing but hotels and motels. I
Really?
remember it's called the Age Association of Hotel Owners. That's what 90% of them own, hotels. They'll come in. First thing they do is they work in a hotel that they own. They'll do the front end, they'll own the back end. They come from one country to the next. Then eventually they want to own their own hotels when they come in as well. So it's a cultural thing. So that's how the mindset we have to have. But yeah,
Right.
and there's something called NACE codes to where, I mentioned 10 million.
Hmm.
That's per NACE codes, which means that say the restaurant is 621. Because so if you want to know what NACE
And people
codes.
people are going on. I just want to say real quick in the comments, we see y'all. I appreciate you. Rachel said she got to run this episode back already. She said there's so much. There's this information is golden. What's up, Demetrius Rodriguez? He said, "Wow!" Like people are blown away. Pure game on this episode, absolutely. And he is somebody who is in the business of helping people understand this. He does training. He has a nonprofit. He does
The
things. He
workshops, yeah.
worked. He did a workshop. You did something with Terrence and Simply Youth,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
you're
yeah. We
looking
did
at
for the
doing some
young people. We
things.
didn't get a chance to do it this year, but last
Okay.
year we came and we did a workshop for his summer youth program for the kids. So we
Yep.
love to be able to do that more as we come up for more youth organizations, schools. 'Cause we
Okay,
do
cool,
it in
cool.
other states and other counties. So we love to be able to do it more here, near in the
And
Ohio.
you
So
you have a training, and we're gonna keep talking. And I know I cut him off. We're gonna get him back on track. He knows where
yeah,
we at.
I have a cohort
General
too.
Wealth
Yeah.
Business 2026.
Oh yeah,
Raising
yeah, yeah.
capital to acquire existing businesses, franchise, and commercial. What is this? I got the flyer up here. What is this
So
about?
it's an
September
annual event,
26th. You got this.
to where we're trying to not just help businesses to be successful, but for them to build generation wealth and leave a legacy. There's a difference because a
Hmm.
lot of businesses they're starting businesses and their business is doing well, but they own the business, but they don't own the building.
Yeah.
Right, they starting businesses, but they're not buying business. And our mindset again, buy the business, but also buy the building.
Yes.
So it's an annual generation wealth. It was really based off I have a couple of man crushes. I love my wife; she's number
Okay.
one.
He's number one.
Well, she's 1B. God is
God
one.
is doing.
God is
Okay.
1A. God is 1A. She's 1B.
Right.
But then it's my dad, my twin brother, and then there's a guy called Reginald F. Lewis.
Okay. Reginald F. Lewis.
Reginald F. Lewis from
Mhm.
Baltimore. He was the wealthiest black man in the U.S. He bought an international company overseas for 985 million, bringing in $2 billion a year. He bought 64 companies in 31 countries. From Baltimore, black guy. Unfortunately, he had passed away
Mm.
at the age of 50 because of brain cancer and things of that nature. But he has a book called Watch the White Guys Have All the Fun. And when I
Mm.
read that book and I saw he bought a company overseas during that time, which it was tough.
Right.
And he bought an international company, talking about Paris and France. And what he bought was called, and what they owned was potato chips, candy, grocery stores. But it was bringing in $2 billion a year.
Wow.
$2 billion a year. And he went to Harvard Law. He was the first person to go to Harvard Law to get into Harvard Law without applying.
Mm.
First black person to own his own law firm on Wall Street.
Wow.
Right, this guy did a lot, and he's from Baltimore, so they have a museum called the Reginald Lewis Museum in Baltimore. I highly recommend if you're in Baltimore, Maryland, nearby in the DMV, come checking it out because it's called the Titan. They got a great museum, but we host the event there every year.
Yeah.
And that's in his honor and for us to show how we can really build wealth. Because we have to focus more on economic development. I don't think our culture focus on economics as much as we should. I think we focus on color and culture, and we need to be focused on Christ, and need to be focused on economics. And so we have to change that within our community. So he was very big on economic development and empowering our people. So I was just blown by his story. So, I got a chance to contact with the family, and the family, we've been doing this event for 12 years. This is our 12th year doing it every single year. So last year, 300 businesses. This year, we got already over 500 people registered for events. We had people from all over the country come. I had a couple, husband and wife from Chicago came. Husband was blind, and he came to the event all the way from Chicago to the event. So it was a free event. I do it through a nonprofit. We get, some donations and get some sponsorships. But it was an event where we had speakers on the panel, and we talk about how do you equality build, but how do you raise the capital? How do you put together the capital stack? So I have speakers that are coming from, Georgia, from Florida, from Texas, that's going to be on the panel giving game for free.
Right.
Other places they charge.
Yes.
This game is for free because again, it's not just about income; it's about impact. Right. So we gotta focus more on impact and making a difference. So it's a free event. There's exhibitors giving out information. We do a tribute to a trailblazer. Each year we do an annual tribute to Reginald Lewis. This year we're doing a tribute to an organization called Meridian Management Group. It's a black-owned private equity company that's been in business for 40 years. And my twin brother actually works for the private equity company as well. We did a tribute last year to Eddie and Sylvia Brown, which is the second wealthiest black-owned investment firm, black-owned investment firm, and they own the Ivory Hotel. They own a boutique hotel, and they're an investment company where they manage funds for people. It's called Eddie and Sylvia Brown. If you haven't heard of them, I mean, real good people. So again, we don't know our history.
Right.
I think we get upset what's going on in DC and what they taking away from that museum.
You're right there in DC.
I'm not worried about what they taking away in that DC. I think we worrying about slavery. I ain't worried about them taking about slavery. I don't need
There's opportunity.
You don't need to remind me of that. Like, I need to focus on the future. I know that. I need to focus on economic development and what we need to be doing generationally and what we need to do in legacy. And we don't focus on that much. We start whining and complaining, and we need to get it. So, free event September the 26th.
Yes.
If you're around, it's on Eventbrite. You can register, bring your family, bring your kids. We have a partnership with Reginald Lewis High School, so we got kids come. I got college students, volunteering. So, it's we think it's a very powerful event.
I love it. You guys check that out. It is in the DC area. But you guys check that out. I know you also do some things virtually, and we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
Some opportunities. So, some questions. So if you guys have questions, please put your questions in the chat. Terrence Jones thinks he's fancy, so he's messaging me directly. That's what I've been trying to find. Like he messaged me on something, it popped up. Like, what's the question? But great question here. He says, so many times we get caught up in working and doing, but not realizing the importance of investing.
Yeah.
What is the best way to start? Is it an app, a book to read, or
it's a combination?
Follow with minimum work. So again, he said, so many times we get caught up in working and doing, but not realizing the importance of investing. And most of us think, first and foremost, they think I don't have anything to invest because they think the only investment is dollars.
Yeah.
And they're not even investing their time in learning. But so his question was, where do we start?
So, I always say to increase your earning power, you got to increase your learning power. So I think it's good. Yes, it does take some funds, but you do got to take time out of just like when you're in business, you work in your business, you're going to work on it, right?
Right.
You can't just work always in your business, you got to work on it as well. So you got to take time to, throughout the day. I know we like to go to social media and look at stuff, but we got to cut that back. Like, we got to increase our knowledge, right? We got to be building not just our brand. We got to build our brain. And I think we don't focus on that. Not just your brain. You got to build your brain at the same time.
Don't just build your brain.
So a couple books you want to be reading. Yeah, you got Dave Ramsey, Financial Peace University, because we got to learn how to manage God's money. And I think that's what we kind of miss. So I always say you want to sow, you save, then you spend. You save, then you spend, right? Okay. So you always say it can't be just a good idea. It got to be a God idea. So, at the end of the day, we got to make sure that, we are in alignment with him and that we are connected to the man. So that's the first thing. So I would say you got to read the Bible first because he's talking about money. and Proverbs and Ecclesiastes all the time within the Bible and tithing and things of that nature. So I highly recommend you start off with the book of Proverbs. So I know we want to seek wealth, but seek wisdom first.
Yes.
So I highly recommend
I
you do
agree.
that first. When it really comes down to it. And even saying Ecclesiastes 11 too, it say you want to have 7 to 8 streams of income, right?
That's in
Because
the
you never
Bible.
know when disaster strikes. You know,
Right.
21:5 in Proverbs. You know,
I'm
you
gonna
want to
track this in here. Books to read. And
books to
our
read.
first book that we
Dave
got is
Ramsey.
well,
Your
we're gonna
Bible. I'm
say
sorry, the Bible.
Bible,
Yep,
and we're gonna say we're starting
21:5. Yeah.
Proverbs, and
Mhm.
then we're gonna say number 2, Dave Ramsey. He has
Financial
Financial Peace
and
University.
Total Money Makeover. You
I
want to
think the
read?
book is Total Money Makeover.
Yeah,
The class is Financial Peace
Financial Peace.
University.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
So I
Okay.
highly recommend, but you also they have the financial piece through your church,
Yes.
and I've taught that at our churches in the past as well too. So you
I
have
took it
that.
at a church I went to. Yep.
Also, you also have Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, which I think is a good book to read.
Yep.
And then another good book is The Five Rituals of Wealth, Tom Bandert. Five Rituals of Wealth. I think is a good book to read.
Yep.
There's a good amount of books that are out there, but those are the ones
are the
that
ones you started with.
I think it was a Think and Grow Rich. I think it's another good book
Great
to
one.
read as well
Yep.
too. Yeah, and
That's Napoleon Hill.
yep, Napoleon
Right.
Hill, and Mike
Yep.
Gerber has an E-Myth. He has a lot of good books.
E-Myth
Michael Gerber,
Revisited. That's a good one.
he has a lot of good books.
Yeah.
And then also you got YouTube, you got social, read it. Oh, of course, check the source, but at least you want to be, when I'm on YouTube, 90% of the time learning. I know we want to be entertained, but we got to be educated more than
Come on
entertained.
now.
And I think we focus too much on entertainment and not enough on education. And it's just our culture. We are the culture, but we're on the entertainment culture.
Oh, come on.
But when it comes to the education culture, we ain't there. We ain't that. So we got to get to the education. What my love, my dad was, he had a library. He would always get all the books that I read. He had them, so he would always read them. As soon as he put it back, I grabbed it. So he had a library, and that's why education is very. And like now, you can read a lot of stuff on audio now. A lot of
Yes.
times you ain't got to have it, but you can just get an audio and listen and read. But again,
And let me tell you a couple tricks to this. Number one, I use Audible. An Audible subscription might be $14 a month right now, but you get one free book, which costs more than
It does,
14 most
yeah.
of the time, and then you get such a huge discount on other books. I probably have 50 books in my Audible, which I've had Audible for
it's tax deductible
many
too, y'all.
years because it's a business expense.
Professional
It's
development.
professional development. Let's
But see,
go.
make sure you got a good tax strategy because he could turn anything that you think you're doing personally into making it into professionally, and you can. But as long as you document why
Yeah.
you're doing what you're doing, you can write it off on and you write off even more when you own the real estate, right? Like I can write off air filters
Ad filter.
because I can buy air filters from my office. They're the same air filters from my house.
Okay. So you can
There's
write off
simple stuff like that.
you can write off the air filter because it's the same
And I think
thing.
we have more midterm stays, so we don't have 1 year leases as much with our tenants. We do more short term midterm stays.
Mhm.
So we're buying like soaps, we're buying like towels and things. I could buy extra.
Couple towels and take them home, and it's not
Called buy them in bulk.
buy them in bulk, right,
Buy 'em in
right. You're
bulk.
not stealing from your old company. You're
Yeah,
allowed to do that.
you
Right.
buy them in bulk. Yeah.
Right.
So a lot of times it can kind of keep your household bill down
Yep.
because a lot of things you got to pay for it, but you got to get in the game.
You got to get in the game.
You got to have a legitimate business.
Yes.
And then keeping track.
Don't
of
be
and
doing it
documenting.
all shady and thinking
And
you
be
got it.
documenting everything. But I want to get back to the
Yes.
SBA with the NACE codes
Yeah.
when I talked about the business and the building because hotels is in a different NACE code than it is with a restaurant.
Right.
So instead of it being 10 million, it can actually be 20 million. People don't know that because it's per NACE codes.
Interesting.
The people don't know that. So people, oh yeah, I'm at my 10 million max. Okay, but what industry you in? Right. So that's why you see now people may want to be using, SBA because you combine. So 7A is 5 million for the 7A, right? There's another 5 million for the 504. Back in the day, it was just 5 million total for 7A and 504.
SBA, right.
But now they combine it with 7A and 5, so you can use both based on what you're buying per NACE codes, right? But you don't want to get too willy-nilly. You want to make sure you're getting something that's meeting the debt service recovery ratio.
Yeah.
That is you're leveraging yourself the right way and not the wrong way as well. Yeah. So I'm a government contract. I've taught classes for the SBA as well too. That's the key thing.
So you know it.
Oh yeah. I know it for the most part. The backup. I have a good relationship with them. Where I've taught they had an emerging leaders program where I actually got paid by that as a subcontractor. Was an SBA contract teaching small business classes, people in the cohort. So now I have my own cohort. Where we had like 20, 30 people every couple months where we teach them about buying businesses, buying franchises, buying the real estate. Most of the time is in Zoom where we have like, some in-person stuff, but it's mainly through, Zoom as well too. So that's one of the ways where we able to like educate people that are interesting. And then we do sessions We do one-on-one stuff with people trying to figure stuff out. It's like I didn't say you try to figure out. Like we can help you figure it out. Just reach out to us and book a session. We can help you figure out and get things going from one step to the next. A lot of times, just look at what's your capability set, what you've already done already. What is your skill set, right?
Right.
All right. So it's
So when Terrence says, "Where do we start?"
yeah,
When we
Mr. Turns,
are,
he know where to start.
he
at.
knows. He knows.
He
to
know where to
start. He
start.
knows
He
to
already got
start.
know. But I would say you
So
want
so many times we get caught up in working and doing, but not realizing the importance of investing. So the best way to start. Okay, so you did start. You did answer that first by saying we need to put more
education,
investment in
knowledge,
education,
and
not
knowledge.
entertainment,
Yeah.
and knowledge.
Yeah, they're
Is
not.
first
And then the second
foremost.
thing is you got to have a good budget, which means you got to live within your means.
And that's personal.
That's
Before we're
personal.
thinking about extending ourselves into a business,
Yeah.
budget your personal
Personal,
stuff.
live
And
within your
then let's
means.
talk
You got
about
to cut
personal
back on some
credit,
things. Yeah,
right? Because
credit
so
and
to get
cash.
SBA and these other things,
680 credit score,
you need to
which is
okay.
the minimum
Yep.
680. Ideally, you want to be 700, but you got to be minimum 680 credit score.
Personally, because that's
Personally,
all they have
because
to
you
go
got to
off of at
guarantee it.
first.
Yeah,
Right.
they'll look at your business credit, and the other thing is, you do want to start building some business credit. You start getting some business credit cards because I've seen people use that personal credit for business, and then it affects their personal credit. So you
Yeah.
want to stop doing that. That's what it's called separate.
Yes.
Because a lot of people commingle what
But
they're doing,
in
even
the,
if it's not making money yet. You still want to be putting money into the business. That's why you want to have a separate business checking account, separate books, things of that nature. It's not making money yet. You
but
got to
you're
put
putting you're helping
yeah,
fund it.
capital contribution. That's your basis as well too. That you're putting into it. So you may be paying for like a website and things. And a lot of people still be paying out that person. Want to stop doing
That's
that,
a capital
and they'll use that
contribution.
personal credit card, get a business credit card. And I like points. So like
Mhm.
how me and my wife got here, we use Marriott. We use Southwest points.
Okay.
So it
That's
didn't
how you
cost.
flew here.
It didn't cost us
It
anything to
didn't
get
cost
here.
you anything
Yeah.
to get here.
But
That's right.
then I had to
Right.
get a tour vehicle, was there's a tax write off because I'm doing business here.
Yes.
I'm promoting my business, right?
Yep. Here you are.
So this
Look,
how it's showing you make your business. So it's a vacation for my wife, business trip for me.
comes
So
vacation, come to see her family,
yeah,
all the things that matter. And
yeah,
here you
it's
are
called
right now.
leverage.
Even if you just came for this interview,
Yeah.
that would count
But I
as
met with other people too and had
Yeah.
meetings with other people in person as well, and
Yeah.
I document everything. So this is a
But all
tax
of this
write-off trip.
counts, right? You can
Even when you
say
go overseas, so 4 ways to offer your services: business to consumer, business to business, business to government,
yeah.
and business overseas, international. So I do business overseas too in Aruba.
Interesting.
So I formed a business last
That
year.
was
So
real smart.
so
Real smart. Get your
so-
business in Aruba.
yeah,
Somebody want to
yeah.
go
We
vacation.
go to Aruba all the time. We have a couple that we know that's in Aruba now, but we love Aruba. So when last time we was there last year,
Mhm.
we was there for a whole week.
Yeah.
Right. I spent like 3 or 4 days in meetings. I met with the government affairs, formed the business there, forming a partnership with another tax person. Because I work with people that live in the U.S. but they own properties, but they
Mhm.
got their own properties in there, but they got to file their tax. You got to file your taxes differently.
Mm.
So we formed and that's the key. That people got to be able to form partnerships with people. You don't have to do everything, by yourself. So I formed a partnership with a lady in the room that has her own tax person,
Yeah.
has her own tax business, where I refer clients to her to do the taxes in Aruba, and any taxes that be done here, they refer to us. So then that trip was a tax fraud because I met with her, then I met with the economic affairs and formed the business, and I met with the chamber of commerce and things as well too. Then the last day before you leave, you have a board meeting with your board. The
Mhm.
last day before you leave.
Uh-huh.
So that's how you can pretty much write off
The
pretty
whole
much
trip.
50 to 80% of the trip. Yeah.
Wow.
For the most part. So yeah, that's how you can write, but you got to document it. So before I even went there, I had already had communication with economic affairs. I'm looking at forming a business. I already set up a meeting. So I have communication and a file folder. So you want to make sure you document everything. So that's the way that you can, again, write off as much as you can legally
Yep.
when you're doing things maybe on the small personal stuff as well too. So
Yeah.
that's why you want to make sure you have a good, a account and tax law strategist,
Right.
especially if you're looking at doing other things, other states and other countries. How do you go about doing that? That's one of the best ways. Got to seek professional help.
Yeah.
So you got to have a bail team, your banker, your accountant, your insurance, your lawyer. So you got to have a team.
Bail.
Bail,
BAIL.
BAI, banker, accountant, insurance, lawyer. You got to have a team
Banker,
that you work with. They
accountant,
know what they're
insurance.
doing. It's going to help you get to where you need to be the next 5, 10, 20. So you want to work with the Small Business Development Center. East County has that, there with your business plan, marketing plan, because it's at no cost. But then you want to seek some professional help. And seeking professional help, you got to have some skin in the game. You got to pay.
Yeah.
Right. And we work with people for payment plans. I don't mean you got to pay it all at once. But as long as we work with us, we work with you.
Yeah.
Especially if you try and get to where you want to get at. But there's programs out there that people don't know about. We make sure you take. But again, we make sure people leverage SBA or get capital ready, be able to leverage SBA, because I think it's one of the best things out there that we are unutilizing as much as possible. The 70 and the 504. So these are things you definitely want to make sure. Then you got USDA. If you in a town, which is this, is under 50,000 population,
I'm pretty sure.
you can buy land and use USDA, and they'll do up to five. That's the same thing as SBA. It's government funding, government agency with their guarantee where you can buy land and farmland, run the business on that up to 90% of it, and build something on that.
Things we
USDA.
don't know. It's the Bible says people perish for a lack of knowledge, right? We don't know what we don't know, and when we do hear something, we become overwhelmed. I hear people say it a lot. It's so overwhelming. There's so much to learn. I can't know everything, and it's true that you can't know everything. But one of the things is we have to invest in ourselves in learning. So don't stop learning because of what you don't know.
Yeah.
And then we also have an issue where we don't want to invest in help. So like, we don't want to get an accountant. We don't want to get a lawyer. We don't want to pay for bookkeeping services. We just want to keep it as cheap as possible.
Yeah, and you're running and you're going in circles, and you're not taking the elevator.
Yeah,
difference, right?
You. These are things. I'm so fortunate that I've got to hear you say these things. Talk to me about your what's the elevator versus taking the stairs, or what is your philosophy?
Well, I would say instead of taking the elevator step, people are going in circles, right? Because they still trying to figure it out on their own. They're not seeking professional help.
Yeah.
So like 10, 20 years, you're still in the same position. Like you got to be able to take things to the next level. And to do that, that's where you see professional help. They can kind of guide you there. So it's good to have a mentor, but it's also good to have advisors as well too. So a mentor may be like an older person that's retired, being where you be, but then you have advisors that are actually in the game, in the trenches, helping, have clients that are helping people take those steps. And that's pretty much what we do with clients. So we do technical assistance, is what they call it. Business consulting and real estate coaching for businesses, because we work with people, like I said, they want to start a business, and it's good to still start. But while you're starting, buy too. You can do both.
Okay.
So I told you about the CPA partner that I had where we bought. He came to me, someone referred me to him to mentor him. 35 years old, been in business 5 years.
Okay.
I said, that's cool, but I was like, I do deals. That's how you learn. Like, we can speak. He was like, yeah, I've been in business 5 years. I only have about so many amount of clients. I want to get more clients. And yeah, I can mentor you that client by client, and I've been through that, but you can also acquire something that already got the clients that you want to need. So I was like, let's just do it, and let's just do it together. So I'm a minority owner. He came to Georgia. We got him with SBA. My twin brother did SBA. My wife did the title work. Wow. Because we bought, I said, but if you're going to buy it, you got to buy it with the building. I give specific instruction, buy an existing business, buy with the building, because we can accelerate where you're trying to go at, right? So he finally found one. He bought the business for $600,000, building for $500,000, 1.1 million. It was 500 clients. Wow. And then in the building, did the CPA practice, and then there's a second year with acupuncture with a tenant paying $900 a month. So it was already cash flowing with the business and with the building.
So then what is a cost on a note? So now you owe the bank or the SBA back.
Yeah.
How much is that? If you have a $1.1 million loan.
So there's the thing. It depends on the amortization schedule. Okay. Right? So the good thing about it, the business is worth more than the building.
Okay.
So it's a 17-year note. Now, say you just buy an existing business and that's it. That's a 10-year note.
Okay.
If you're buying something like a hotel, the building is worth more than the business. That's a 25-year note.
Okay.
So I can't tell you off the top of the head exactly, but you run an amortization.
The length of the note dictates the amount.
It has to be 1.25. So say the note is like 8,000, you gotta be at least making 10,000 above.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So if it's 10,000,
so you're saying you have to make 1.25 times your monthly payment,
25% more.
25% more.
I was just probably better. So 1.25. Say your note is 10,000 a month. You gotta make 12,500.
Yep,
that's real simple. 12,500. Right. Yep. Gotta be 25% more than what it is, because that's the underwriter.
Yeah, so they're looking at it saying, can you afford to pay us back? But if you come in with tenants in the building and 500
clients that's cash flowing and the building,
and you show them that,
and you use that as because you got personally guaranteed the loan. So he was able to use the building. Then they also wanted him to personally guarantee his house, so they use that. But they also use the building as well too,
right?
As a personal guarantee. Because again, you gotta make the underwriter feel comfortable, to feel okay to see it. Because the thing is, clients can leave.
Sure.
So what we did was put an earn out in it, which means that if 90% of the clients stay, you'll get the rest of your money.
The owner that you bought from.
Owner we bought
then
from.
They have incentive, which is often why owners
incentive.
stay on.
Yeah, so they got most of it in year one, they'll get the rest of if 90% stay. If less than 90%, they're gonna get less than the 600,000
Yes. So they
because
have
there's an
all the
earn out.
reason to make
Yeah,
sure they're not
they
going to go
are the
start
reason to
another
make
business. They
sure
can't take the clients. They can't start referring
there's a
them somewhere
non-compete. They
else.
got to sign 5
Right.
years too. So it was a husband and wife that didn't look like us that sold it to us.
Yes.
They had 6 other offers. They accepted our offer because I was a part of the deal.
Wow.
Because I had experience with it. So that's what I say, leverage.
Yeah.
I said, I'll go in as a minority owner and we can go in and then we have a deal where we're going to buy 5 more. And then in 5 years, get bought out by private equity. That's the plan.
That's the plan. And it's
That's
going
the
to happen.
purpose.
I love
So
it.
I was like, we want to celebrate you 35 by 40, 45. Like you can be to where you can be retired or somebody retired. Because the give is what is your end game. That's why that's called.
What is your end game? Let's talk about that.
I'm not sure if I'd be able to do this, but I would love to be a dean of a business school. I would love to.
Amazing.
Yeah, I would have
But
to go
that's
back
not-
and get my master's and doctorate,
You
but I
would
would
be,
love to.
listen, that is not a financial move.
Yeah,
That's not a
but
financial move.
I'm but I'm on the accounting advisory board where I went to school at Towers University. So I have interns that work for me and that I mentor and everything.
That's not a
But my
business
end
move,
game,
though. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying it's
it's a
wrong.
purpose move. Yeah.
That was a purpose move. So
Well,
yeah.
I would say that, end game, I definitely love to be living overseas
Okay.
more.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely like to be
Where at? Where do you enjoy?
you already told you, huh? She
Aruba,
Aruba, man.
you got
Love
me
it,
in
man.
Aruba. He's
My
like,
wife,
"Yo,
she
what
loves Italy, so to go for our
Okay.
10th anniversary, you're gonna go to Italy,
Yeah.
be open, but
Yeah.
we love Aruba because that's a direct flight. But I love to be a Florida resident. I mean, I had to be in Florida all the time, but the goal would be possibly a Florida resident, have a property down in Florida, and still
Yeah.
be up here. And things of that nature. But yeah, I love to spend the third in overseas, a third possibly in Florida, and the third back in Maryland.
Right.
With the family. That would be the, ultimate goal. Continue to be a portfolio entrepreneur, but I'm real big on, continue to grow a nonprofit, and we've been able to empower the next generation. I keep it simple, man. It's not really about,
It's not about some big money
I just want to
industry.
make it a
And
God's
you've
kingdom.
done well.
Make it a
So
God's
you're
kingdom.
not somebody who's chasing money in that you have money, you know how to leverage money, you're
Yeah.
continuing to build.
Well, I still got a
assets.
family, and we still, growing our family and everything. So yeah, that ain't cheap.
Yeah, that's not cheap, right?
Still gotta make some money and make it work for us.
course.
But I just focus on impact, not
It's
just
not
income.
a
But
right.
I would say the income would definitely continue to grow the family, but also live possibly, in different, because it's living overseas. The food is healthier, it's better.
Yeah.
Sometimes they try to kill over here.
Every day they try to
and
get us.
everything.
They
But
are,
it's just the
right.
land opportunity here to be able to grow
Yeah,
business,
build a
raise a
business from
family.
that
So
standpoint.
you want to be at those 3 sides. But yeah, my goal is to continue to work with businesses, invest in businesses, continue to grow my portfolio as an entrepreneur, and help other people grow their portfolio as an entrepreneur. That's been the ultimate, end game, and just improve the quality of life.
I love it. Listen, I got to get you out of here. I appreciate you coming on here today, having this conversation with me. The legacy of your family, your aunt, your father, your twin brother, continue to do this. Now you and your wife working together, doing things.
That's a blessing, yeah.
That's a huge blessing.
She loves what she does too, man, with the title work and everything. Yeah.
It's amazing. And my wife and I are in that phase where she's built I've either worked or owned a business where I was making enough to pay for everything. Her businesses have taken off, which has brought us into a new area of life and lots of lessons because
Higher tax bracket.
higher tax bracket it's changed some things for us.
Man.
But it's been a blessing, and we're learning. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's
That's life
we don't
lesson.
know what we don't know.
Yeah.
And even when you look forward or you read a book, you're like, oh yeah. But then you don't know it until you get into it, and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Full
I didn't
circle.
realize how much workers' comp costs to do this. I didn't realize how much that costs to have an employee. I didn't. And so learning those things, managing those things, and her business, she went from making the product to shipping the product to doing everything to having a manufacturer.
So she has a
make the product.
manufacturer. Okay.
She got one, and now she just got a company that's going to be doing the shipping. So she just shipped
Even
her stuff
better.
off to the shipper.
She doing
company.
anything with SBA with the manufacturer?
She's not.
No, we'll talk about this evening.
We'll talk about that at dinner. We'll talk about that at dinner tonight. Okay.
It's gonna be a tax write-off dinner meeting.
Okay, I like that. All right, exactly. We're gonna have one of those tonight. Thank you so much, and thank you for your support. People don't know. You're in DC.
Maryland.
In Maryland. I'm sorry, you're in Maryland. You're in Baltimore. You're in Maryland, and you have always. We had not met in person, but for years you were just encouraging me and seeing what I was doing.
I saw the
knew
purpose.
your wife, and I knew your family. The family here a bit, but I've always appreciated that.
Of
Like,
course, yeah.
you sewing into me, pouring into me, talking to me, encouraging, keep going. I see this. Good job. Like,
Mhm.
people don't know how something as cheap as free as a I see you, good job, or keep this in mind, or here's something to know, how valuable that is. And so I just want to thank you for that. Because there's
Oh,
people right here in
I
the city who
appreciate
see me every day who wouldn't take
that.
the time to say
Yeah, I
any of
got you.
that. And
Yeah.
and plenty of them do, but some don't.
Yeah,
And
I
it
got you.
matters.
Well, I mean, the key thing, well, number one, thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, of
I really
course.
appreciate. I'm
Of
honored to be
course.
on.
I'm honored to
I
have
see
you.
the great stuff and the great work that you're doing.
Thank you.
But I've heard you was doing great stuff. I seen it. I saw the where you was starting at, the potential, and where you at now. So, and you're just really still getting
I
started
feel
as
that
well
way.
too, man.
I
So I
feel
saw there
that.
was a great platform that you. It's not just about promoting. This is about empowering.
Yes,
Right,
absolutely.
like the power of media should be about empowering, and I don't see media empowering our people as much as it is. I think it's empoisoning and then empowering. I'm being
Mm,
honest with you. And what I
yeah,
saw with your content, what you do on live every Friday, you're empowering people.
yeah,
So we should support that. And I love supporting people, especially people that anybody, but especially people that look like us.
yes,
So honored to be here and excited to be able to build what we can build and
yes.
be a blessing to you and the others as well too. So I love Ohio. I love coming here. I'm here every other month.
I see that.
Be
Right,
back
right.
here
I'm
for
ready to get back.
Thanksgiving. So this is like my second, third home.
I
And
love it.
I just fell in love with the town because I love my wife. That's where she's from. And fall in love with her, maybe fall in love in town. So when I before I, when I met my wife, the first thing I asked, I was like, I'm coming home with you to meet the whole family.
Right?
And when I fell in love with the family, with the city, I came back, started looking for a ring. Like
Interesting.
literally, yeah. We got engaged in a year and got married within the following. We dated for a year, got engaged and got married. When you know, right? So
Yes.
this, it played a part of my trajectory in me becoming a kingdom man, right?
I
So
love it.
it's a blessing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. For people who want to get a hold of you, where could they find more information?
Yeah, social
Where could
media. You
yeah.
can my website, sjsfinancialfirm.com. You can just Google my first and last name.
Mhm.
Like I said on our website, on LinkedIn, I'm on there pretty much all the time. Facebook, Instagram, Sharif J. Small. You can just Google me and my information comes up. My direct cell is 443-570-7391. You can reach out to me directly as well. But you can just Google my name. I'm not hard to not
Not
hard to
hard to
find.
find. I
Yeah,
love
but
it.
again, thank you for having me on the show, man. I've been honored to be able to be on here. I made it. I've been wanting to be on the show
My
for a while,
man,
so I
listen.
appreciate it.
Anytime, anytime.
Appreciate
You
the
can't what
platform
you
and
bring
opportunity.
is what I want to bring to the people. So thank you
Of
so much for
course,
sharing your story. Thank you for the education and information. That's what this is all about.
of course, of course.
All
God bless
right.
you, my man. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to my man was here today bringing us some great information. I done moved my frames all around here. So I done moved stuff so I can't find my sponsors. There we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Shout out to our sponsors here at Footage Fusion. You guys check us out, footagefusion.com. Some great things coming to you guys. I think it's going to be the greatest thing that we have built so far in helping families keep their stories through our Story Keeper solution and give tributes and give people their flowers while they're still here. So you guys stay tuned. More information coming about that. Shout out to our friends at SARTA, our friends at Jessica Danielle Nails, the Linda Ribenstein team, and Ace Carpet Cleaning. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring and riding with us. And thank you guys so much for being viewers, supporters. Thank you all. John Ramos, what's up, my man? I didn't see you there. Thank you so much. Got to have you on, John. I don't know if we talked about it. I think I tried to reach out. Love to get you down here. I know you're in Cleveland all the time, but come on down, come see me. Carlton, thank you for always being here and showing love. Got to get you in here. Karen, thank you so much. Great show, great information. He's a great guy. He's a great son-in-law. Gotta love. Gotta when your kids is in good hands. Doesn't it make your life feel good?
God is awesome.
God is awesome. God is good, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have a great day, a great weekend. We got the Road to the Classic coming up this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. So many great things going on. We got the HBCU Classic weekend, Labor Day weekend. But shout out to the people, Marcus Bentley, Atira Ashley, all the people who've worked together to put together the Road to the Classic. There's some great events starting this weekend, including a community parade back down here on Market, just like we did for the Pro Football Hall of Fame this Sunday. Make sure you guys don't miss that. There's line dancing. There's so many things going on. I'll put out some more information. Make sure you go check out Marcus Bentley's page. We'll make sure you guys check out Mark Bigby. You know he always got all the information there. Check it out so you guys stay informed, and let's continue to support the great things going on. Whether you're watching us from Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, we thank you guys for being here with us on another episode of Lucas Live. We're going to see you Monday morning with Marcus Martin. Comedian Marcus Martin will be here in the building Monday morning, 8 a.m. Don't miss it. He's got a comedy special coming up. I'm trying to be in the audience out there for his first ever comedy special. If you want to know more, make sure you check us out Monday morning. We'll see you guys next time on the next episode of Lucas Live. Everybody have a great day.